I'm having trouble with the Honda. Sometimes it won't start. And in today's video, I'm gonna go through what was going on, what was happening, and the symptoms that I was showing, and basically the problem and how I fixed it. So stick around. The first time I was having trouble was I went to the Get On Adventure Fest down in Mojave. We were riding at least an hour and I stalled it and then it wouldn't start. We were with some other people, CF Moto, Ronnie, Renner, and those guys, and they're pulling tools out and helping me. And it was probably 10-15 minutes trying to mess with it, trying to see what's going on. It would turn over, but it wouldn't fire. And then eventually it just started up. 10-15 minutes later, it just fires right up. We're riding. I continue riding, Get up on top of the hill, turn it off, we sit for a little while. It doesn't want to start. Same thing, gotta wait about 10-15 minutes and then it starts up. So it's really weird. On the way back, it happened again. We couldn't get it. We waited probably almost 25 minutes and Miller went and got the truck and towed me back. And we get it back to camp, fires right up. It made me think like the fuel pump, something wrong with the fuel pump, But basically I go on another ride at the Get On Adventure Fest with Steven and we ride about 2 hours. I killed it on the trail, won't start. He tows me out. As Steven's towing me back, I'm trying it at different times to start it and it starts up when we're towing it down the highway. So he unhooks me and we just go running. Well, I got it home and I wasn't sure what it was really, but it was getting worse and worse. Like I could only go like 4 or 5 miles down the road. And then when I turned it off, like I'd have to wait and it wouldn't work. You have to take time. There's a couple times that it stranded me, but I knew if I waited long enough that it would start. But the problem was getting worse. It was getting more and more intermittent. Another thing that I noticed is when I put fuel in it and was full of fuel, it wouldn't have trouble starting until it got down to like half a tank. And then like if I turned it off, it'd have trouble starting. So it made me think like it's a fuel pressure thing. And then another symptom I was having, like basically, it's not the ECU. I changed the ECUs and like I was still having the same trouble. And I went back to stock ECU and I was still having that trouble. So it wasn't the ECU. I was testing another ECU. When I was testing it, I wanted to do top end, see how fast it would go just to get some numbers on it, right? And I'm 85, 86, 87, 88, 89, and then it just cuts out and then fires back up, but it slowed me down to like 65. It was like a hiccup. And so the fuel wasn't consistent at that time, right? So it was really weird. Like the symptoms I was having is like when the engine warms up, it didn't want to start. And then as it cooled down, it would start again. And then became more and more frequent, right? And then I would be at a constant throttle position and it would be cutting out. It wasn't smooth, right? And then when I was putting fuel in it, it would work fine the first 45, 50 miles. After that, it didn't want to start. All these things are like, they tell me it's the fuel pump. I look on research online and people that are having the same issues, the same type of issues, it's fuel pump. So like I've had this, I don't know what I got on it, less than 2,000 miles. I'm like maybe 1,700 on it. It's less than a year, so it could still be under warranty. But I kind of ran into this problem with my KTM 790. Where I had a small problem, nothing drastic. I took it to the dealer for warranty work and 8 weeks later they still couldn't get the parts. So my KTM sat up there for 8 weeks for warranty work and they still couldn't get the parts. Ultimately what happens, I ordered the parts from Rocky Mountain ATV, sent them to my house, put them on myself and fixed it, right? So this is under warranty, but I'm gun shy of taking it to a dealer and having to wait a week for them to get a fuel pump and put it on. Because I've done a lot of aftermarket stuff to this bike. You can tell, like a fuel tank is aftermarket exhaust, aftermarket ECU. Basically, I would have to swap all this stuff back and put the stock tank back on and put it all up and then take it to the dealer. Have them diagnose what it is and then fix the problem, which is basically a fuel pump. I'm pretty sure it's a fuel pump, but I'm gonna prove that here in a little bit. That, to me, that's a week at least. And then that's like a day and a half of like taking all these parts off, putting them back on, swapping everything out, putting it back on, and then probably at least a week at the dealer. I already ordered a fuel pump. I ordered a fuel pump from Rocky Mountain ATV, and it's on its way. And it's like $365. But I feel like I can order that, have it at my house, and put it on in one day, one time, and be done with it. I think that's the route I'm going, just in case, so I don't have any trouble or BS like the last time with KTM. I know Honda dealers are different, but a lot of these dealers here in Vegas, service-wise, no bueno. So basically, what I need to do to really diagnose it is, like, I'm under a half a tank, so I think it'll fire up, but if I go ride it for 5, 8, 10 miles and come back to the house right here and shut it off, it won't start, right? And then essentially what I need to do is like trace the wires, but ultimately what I'm gonna do is just take power from the battery, 12 volts from the battery, right to the fuel pump, and after I ride those 10 miles, and just hook it straight to it, and the fuel pump won't work. Like, I'll give it direct 12 volts from the battery and it won't work, which means the fuel pump's failing. And it's getting worse and worse and worse. Like, so it's eventually just gonna go out completely. So I just ordered a fuel pump, even though I'm kind of guessing, but I'm gonna try to recreate the problem though. Go ride it, get it to where it won't start, and then put direct power to fuel pump and prove that it's not getting it. But from all the symptoms I'm getting, that's what a fuel pump does when it's going out, and everything I researched online, that I could change the filter and try to muck with it and stuff, but it's just getting worse and worse, and like I could spend more time jacking with it, or I'll just swap it out. And there's been a couple people, they don't see it often, but there's been a couple people with fuel pumps on this. Fuel pumps for the most part are pretty good, but you know, it can happen. It is happening. It happens on KTM an awful lot, but it can happen on Honda too. I don't know if that's, you know, probably not the most efficient way to go about it, but I don't got time to wait around. I got ECUs that I want to test. I got the AIM, the Vortex, Takomoto maps. Like, I want to do some videos. I'm going to do a lot of Honda content, so that's kind of where I'm at. That's the problem I'm having, and I'm going to go for a ride, get it hot, and then try to power up the fuel pump. Because it wouldn't prime. You know, when I turn the key and everything on, like, it doesn't always prime. It could be getting power and just failing, that's what I think. But that's what I'm going to recreate. Turn it on. Listen, you can hear the click of the relay. I don't know if you can hear that, but oh, there it goes, not primed. So see, sometimes it primes, sometimes it doesn't. But you can hear the relay clicking, so we'll try to crank it one more time, see if it does anything. So I heard the relay, but nothing on here. No fuel pump prime. Same thing. All right, it's hard to show, but the negative is the green without the white. It's green on the far left, and then the brown with a red stripe. Essentially these two right here. And it's hard to show, but I'm turning everything on. I can hear the relay click, and I'm getting power to here. I'm struggling to get power cables from there and plug it into there. I need some alligator clips or something, or another set of hands basically, but that's my problem. I got power to here, but it's not doing anything with this. Same thing though. Turn it on. Can hear the relay. Plugged in. Same thing. All right, we got a new fuel pump. All this stuff. Oh, there's a filter package. I was like, man, there's no filter with it, but I got that. No fuel pump prime. Same old story. All right, I'm gonna take it off and I'm gonna put power to the fuel pump. Since I'm taking it all the way off, I'm gonna put power to the fuel pump, make sure it's not priming, because it's not priming right now. All right, well, I got the tank off, separated. What I'm gonna do is take power from the battery to the pump and get it to prime. If I put power to it and it doesn't prime, it's the pump. All right, here we go. Yeah, I'm not getting nothing. Not a nothing. It's like it wanted to. You can hear it pop a little bit. It's not priming though. Taking it off. You can see the fuel line here. I don't think it's boiling off, but I'm gonna wrap it with some heat stuff just to make sure it ain't. And I'm gonna change this fuel pump out. See what we got going here. I don't know, it's out. A little bit under there, but it don't really feel like it's in the... God, I hope this is it. $400 worth. The filter don't look that bad. I mean, you're supposed to inspect it, but... It's supposed to inspect it at 1,800 miles and then 3,600 miles. It's supposed to be inspected. I think if you're racing dirt, they want every 30 hours. Because, like, I get power to it and it doesn't do nothing. And the tank seems alright. There ain't like a bunch of shit in there or anything. At least it seems alright. And here's a new one. I think I've done everything though. Like I got power to it, I put power on it, doesn't work. The only thing it might be is a kickstand switch, but I don't think that's it. Because that works normal. Shit, here we go. Well, looks exactly the same. Just about. Put my gaskets back on. And I'm going to put some of this heat tape, gold heat tape. I'm going to put it on the fuel line just to make sure I'm not boiling. Probably unnecessary, but I'm going to bling it out and I'm going to make sure because I'm going to be running in the desert in the summer. I need it to not be boiling off. All right, here you go, my NASA fix. Probably don't need it, probably overkill. I don't care, I just make sure because running high temps around here. I got everything hooked up, buttoned back up. I'm gonna get it started and then I'm gonna go for a ride. I'm gonna do like my 8-10 miles again. Come back, see if it does it. Starts up multiple times. I'm good to go. Because I don't want to put fuel in it just yet, but we'll see if I can get the problem to reoccur the way I've been doing it. So we'll see. All right, see if we can hear it. Prime. Come on, Betsy. Primed. Yeah, primed right up. All right, so I'm gonna go for a ride and do the same thing. See if I can get it to reoccur. All right, so I just did the same thing, did what, 12 miles? See if I can recreate the problem. It's priming. Prime right up. Priming. Alright, so I'm safe to say that is the fix. And I'm happy that's the fix because I spent like 360 bucks on it. But right away it felt like it was running better. You could almost tell like it was lagging before. And I couldn't tell until I got on this, it felt livelier. Now why did it happen? I don't know. I put aftermarket tank on, so I could have did something to it. I could have had stuff in the tank. They say to wash the tank out good before you do it. I did that, but maybe I didn't wash out good enough. I don't know. It could have been something I did. Who knows? It was failing more and more, and I was able to recreate this problem 3 times where I like 10 miles, come back, turn it off, it wouldn't start. Did that 3 times in a row trying to diagnose it, and I felt like I was able to diagnose it, but now I just went and did 12 miles, come back, starts up, no problem, multiple times. Yeah, pretty happy. But it happens, right? Fuel pumps go out, I guess. I don't think it's a very common thing, and it could have been me, something I did, but on Hondas it's not very common. But it has happened. Alright, so I'm pretty happy that it's the fuel pump. Only because I spent so much money on it. Like, you can't return that, right? But hope you liked the video. Don't forget to subscribe. 450 content. Catch you guys later.